As a human being, you are never going to find your true inner strength, your true inner power until you're put in a position to where you have to overcome something that you never thought you were going to have to overcome. I'm going to give you an example that either some of us specifically have experienced or we've witnessed somebody else experience. So you can have a racer of some kind, some sort of runner, and they start out the race, and this person was most likely already going to win, but they trip and they fall early in the race or in the middle of the race. They trip and they fall. They get up. They're not going to fucking lose. You can just see it in their eyes when you see them get up. They are not going to lose this race because they were meant to win it. And they get up and they take off running. Now, if that person had not fallen down, they would have still ran a really good and hard race. And when they were done with the race, they would have been exhausted. They would have been tired. They would have given that race everything that they had. But that wouldn't have been true because when we see them fall down, they get up and they have to overtake everybody all again. They have to do more than they were ever planning on doing, and they're capable of doing it. They overtake everybody, they run the race, and they still win. Now, I've been in a position, for me personally, I've been in a bunch of positions that I had to overcome shit that I wasn't prepared for. I mean, a fuck ton of times in my life period. But there was one example. There was a pretty big guy. This was in prison. This guy was pretty big and he had crossed a boundary. Now, I'm a big guy, but he's much bigger than me. It doesn't matter. It was on me to go make sure that this situation had been taken care of. So I go over to his cell and he knows what time it is. We both know what time it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts that I'm going to come. We both know I'm going. And we both know what's going to happen when I get there. So I go in there. I shut the door behind me. We get to it right away. I hit him right off the bat. Boom! And I rocked his ass. And he's a big dude. And I rocked him. And he was a little... confused for a second. Now, when I went to go swing again, I slipped and I fell to one knee. Now, I didn't experience anything else, so I don't know. But it is a common thing that when people think a bunch of people are coming, especially, they'll either throw baby powder on the floor, water on the floor, baby oil on the floor, just to make it difficult for anything serious to happen. So I don't know if he had put anything on the floor. I don't know if it had been intentional. I don't know. All I know is that when I went to swing again, I slipped and I fell to one knee. Now, even though dude was rocked, he was still a little bit out of his senses. He did have enough wherewithal to fall on top of me. When he fell on top of me, he's such a big dude. I was already off balance. I was trying to get up. We went straight to the dirt. Now, this guy is bigger than me. He's overall stronger than me. Just a really big dude. So at this point, the fight no longer becomes about... Now the fight is, and first of all, I know for a fact that if I lose this fight, I'm going to wake up in the ICU. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This guy is going to he has to send a message if he wins. I do not. I just have to send the message that boundaries are no longer to be crossed. So when I come in here, I'm coming for a different purpose. But I'm 100% confident in my abilities at this time. Now, when he gets on top of me, though, he has the advantage. But I was just not going to lose. I was just not going to lose. So what felt like an eternity, it felt like forever. I mean, both of us are just fucking pouring sweat. This dude's sweat is just pouring down on me. We're both it's getting difficult for both of us to hold on to each other as we're trying to get through this situation. Eventually, he got tired before I did. My anger and my refusal to lose is all that kept me through. It wasn't that I was, Superman. It wasn't that I just wasn't going to lose. I had no other option but to win. So I ended up getting out. He got tired. He got weaker. I ended up overpowering him from the bottom position, pushing him over, finished whooping his ass, and I left. Now my point is, it wasn't until I got in that position that I knew exactly how much strength that I have. Had I gone in there, even if it had been a really good fight, even if we had been going back and forth for a few minutes, and I gave it everything that I had, I would not have given the same amount of effort that I had to give when I was in a losing position. And most of us have experienced this. I experienced it when I was a wrestler at one point too. There was just this one guy, man, he was fucking difficult. It wasn't even, I was stronger than him. This was the other way around. I was stronger than him and he was just faster than me and he was just wily and wiggly and that motherfucker, I mean, I pinned him at the end of the third round or whatever those things are called. I don't remember. But the point is, I pinned him right before the match ended. And so you never really know where your true strength actually is until you're put in a position to you have to overcome something that you never thought you would overcome. This is why you will never grow in your comfort zone. You have to be placed outside your comfort zone in order to grow. And I don't care who you are, as men especially, you are not good enough the way you are. You are not good enough how you are. Your mom lied to you. You are not good enough how you are. You need to consistently be moving towards becoming a better man, a good man, a more capable man, and just a man, period. You cannot be a little boy in a man's body and think you're good enough. You're just not. You cannot be a half-ass capable man and think that you're good enough. You're just not. And you can be a fully capable man. Excuse me. You could be a fully capable man and you could be able to do a lot of things. You still need to get better at all of those things, plus at being a man in general. You have to be outside your comfort zone in order to become better and in order to find your true strength. And you don't find that unless you're put in a position that you have to overcome something that you never thought you would overcome. You would have to overcome. Now, the sports analogy and the fighting analogy that's just an example that many of us have either experienced personally or we've witnessed. Even if you just witness it on fucking TikTok and shit. You've seen somebody who was probably supposed to win, or even if they weren't supposed to win, but then they got put in a position to where they fell down or whatever it is, but they got in a position to where they had to come from behind. And then all of a sudden they have more power, more strength, more energy, more stamina than they've ever had before. And even if they were supposed to win and they would have been leading the pack the entire time, like I said, at the end of that race, at the end of the race where nothing went wrong, they still would have felt like they gave everything they had. However, it wasn't until they were put in a position to where they had to overcome an obstacle that wasn't planned for, that suddenly they realized, no, I have a lot more in me. I have a lot more power in me. I have a lot more energy in me. I have a lot more strength and stamina in me. But it is not until you are put in a position that you have to overcome something that you never thought you would. That is how growth looks. That is how you get better at things. You don't necessarily have to be put in a position to where you have to fight for your life so you don't get put in the ICU. That is not necessary. I think most men should have to go through it. You should be in a position to where you feel like if you lose this fight, your life could be on the line. I do think that is an important element for most men to go through. We need to be put in a position that we're not put in often. We need to be hunting lions. We need to be chasing dangerous things. But if that's not how you live your life, which, we live in the first world, so that's a little bit more difficult, but you still have to be put in a position to where you are not in full control of everything that happens. So you go into a position, you don't know exactly what's going on, you don't know exactly how you're going to get it done, any of these things, and then that is where growth happens, where you have to find a new and novel way to overcome a problem, or you have to just outwork. That is one of the most popular ones we hear all the time. You just got to outwork everybody else, even though you don't have a fucking clue as to what's going on or what you're doing. This is an example of why you cannot stay in your comfort zone and become better. You have to consistently move outside your comfort zone. You have to consistently expose yourself to new experiences that force you to put out a higher output in energy. It doesn't matter, energy, creativity, thinking, whatever the hell it is. You have to you have to find a new output for a higher level of energy that you must expend in order to overcome the obstacle. You cannot grow inside your comfort zone. You must overcome new obstacles regularly to become a better man.